welcome back to my YouTube channel. On this video, we'll be looking at the intermediate CSS. And when we talk about intermediate CSS, we are referring to the layouts and positioning of our HTML, the CSS, how it looks in the web page, right? And this intermediate CSS is basically grouped into 5. We have the CSS Box Model, we have the display properties, we have the CSS Positioning, we have the CSS Units, and lastly we have the Flexbox and Grid. So let's pick it one by one and let's practicalize it, see how it turns out and see the effect of it. So the first one I'm going to discuss is going to be the CSS Box Model. Box Model is how elements are structured in CSS, right? When you talk about the content, we put there in terms of the text or images inside the elements. When you talk about the padding, the border, the margin. Now, padding is basically the space between content and the border, while we say margin is space outside the border separating elements. So these two things sometimes you might kind of get confused, but that is where we are here to practicalize it and see the difference. Padding is the space between the contents and the border, which means is referring to what is inside the border, while margin is referring to the space outside the border. Just as simple as that. And we say we have the border itself. The border is the outline of the element. So these 4 things are what is made up of CSS Box Model. All right, so let's practicalize it. This is where we stopped the last time, right? So here I'm just going to create a new HTML at the same time create a new CSS. So creating a new HTML, I'm going to let's use discussion 2. All right, so here I'll just have right. So okay, so here in my CSS I want to have a CSS file, so I won't tamper with the previous CSS we are using. So here I'm just going to call it sample.css. Okay, so I have these 2 files now, sample and discussion 2. All right, so these are the 2 files we'll be working with. So let's just drop the default HTML element, right? Okay, so here that we have this now, the next thing I want to do is I would like to link the CSS into the HTML, which is going to be the link. All right, and the CSS is inside an asset CSS, then it's file. So let's just call asset CSS, then we get to see the sample. Right, so save this and we are good. So for us to be sure we are good, let's just have text there, sample text. Okay, so I'll just simply rename this to okay, so we are good. We have the text popping out. So now we talk about the CSS Box Model and I want to make use of this paragraph. Let's make use of this paragraph, test it. So let's just have a paragraph saying this is a box, or let's say this is CSS Box Model, right? So yeah, now let's apply some style to it to be able to see the effect of the box, right? So here I'm going to create a class here. I'll call this class box, and remember that you can name your class whatever you prefer, but just make sure it's something that is, you can easily track back to that particular element. It's as simple as that. So after that, let's move to our CSS section, and here I'm going to period box. Here I want to pass in all the style I want to use, right? So I have a style customized already, so I'm just going to copy that and paste it. Then I explain what it does, right? So here I have it. Okay, so basically we have the width, which is 200 pixel, which means the width that I want, the height, yeah, 100, and the padding, the border. This, let's save it and let's see how it goes, and I can explain better, right? So let's save all. Now once I refresh, now I should have this. Okay, so this is the border that we have here, the black border. We said it should be solid, right? And it should be 2 pixel. So we have it here, and the width we are seeing here right now is 200. The height is 100. So let's just modify something inside it to see the effects or properly or much more better. Let's use an example here. Let's get rid of the padding and let's get rid of the margin. Okay, let's do it this way to make it much more fun and well detailed. All right, so I'm going to have 2. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this, duplicate it here right now. So here I'm going to call this the box 2. Let's have this as box 1 so we can see the difference. The box 1 is a perfect example I want to give, while I use a box 2 to make the difference. Here now, let's come back here. We have to name this one as our box 1. Yeah, so I'm going to copy this and duplicate it as well, like paste it. So here it's going to be box 2. Okay, so in box 2, there's few things that we have to change in box 2. So now let's remove the padding and the margin. So this can be a good example for us to understand the padding and margin, right? So but though going forward we're still going to have more example, and probably I'm going to create a video that discusses about this padding and margin clearly. So but right now, let's see, we might even grab it once right now. So let's save it all. Okay, good. So here we have it. Here you can see the first box, which is the box 1. You can see there's a space between the edge of my browser and the box itself. So this is a margin effect, all right? And the content inside that container is the padding. So here you can see the box 2. The box is closer to the edge of the browser, right? And the content inside it is also close to the border, unlike this one. So let's try and apply each of the style to see the difference, right? Straightforward. I'm going to apply margin. Let's try margin to be 20 pixel or more. Let's try 50 pixel. Okay, good. So you can see it's more kind of spacious, right? More space applied. And now the margin applies in the 4 angles. The top aspect of it apply 50 pixel. The left, the right, the bottom is 50 pixel because column margin, I did not specify is it left, is it right, is it top, is it bottom. So automatically it talks to the 4 angles. So let's apply padding. Okay, padding, let's work with 20 pixel. Good. So here you can see the content inside the border gets shifted while the margin still remains. The space outside the border remains. So this is a good example of margin and padding. And when we talk about the border itself, here I say 5 pixel. Okay, 5 pixel, not 2 pixel, right? So let's make this one 1 pixel. We get to see how tiny it is, right? So this is a good example of CSS box. I hope we grab this and we understand it perfectly. So in my next video, we're going to discuss about display properties. Make sure you follow, make sure you like if actually it helps you, and then see you in my next video.